Hello everybody, it is your baby boomer Kitty Lane from the Peninsula in Virginia, back with another Create and Relate. I know it's been a minute since a video has been posted. It's been crazy, okay? So, I'm not going to say that I have not recorded anything since Thursday. I have not recorded anything postable since Thursday. So we're hoping that this one is one that can be accepted. And it's so sad because I recorded so much and there's so much I want to share with you guys. Hold on. Let's see how we can do this. Okay, I'm back. Just wanted to gather some things so I wasn't like all over the place. Okay, I know some of you will remember this beauty. And I kind of like got to the transition of the dark green and kind of put it up. Well, I picked it up today and made it. Told myself that I was working on this today. It was either going to be the whole day of this or at least 10 rows. And I am 6 rows in. I have dealt with the grandbabies this morning, fed them breakfast, got bathed and dressed, went to the store, came back, ate lunch, took a nap, and here we are. Oh, and I spent 2 hours in the cottage today with Mama C. So I've done quite a lot today. So like I said, here we are. And as you see across the bottom, it does say Ghost Brothers. So those of you who are familiar with the Ghost Brothers, if you know who we call the leader of the bunch is Dalen Spratt. And this is Spratt. So this is for Dalen's family. We are going to put Taco and Tito, which are the fur babies, then Axel, and then above Axel will be Dalen and Stacy. So they will have their family blanket. They can use it as tapestry, or they can use it as a lap throw. They can use it as a cuddle throw. Being that both of them are small, this is barely enough for me, but I'm pretty sure that the two of them, Hollywood type material, can, or it can be for Axel. It can be a family keepsake. It'll have everybody's name on it. So that's where we are with that. Like I said, I don't remember how much. I've had a lot going on. I was able, you know that I had the insurance thing going on last month. Well, this month they kind of like pow, packed me down with doctor's appointments. And in one of those appointments, I was able to get my medication back. And getting my medication back and getting my medication back in my system, I'm finding it very hard to stay awake. So it's like Wednesday I took my medication when I got home from the doctor. I slept the rest of Wednesday. I tried to go in the cottage for Wacky Wednesday, and I was able to say hello, and I slept through the rest of it. And when I got up, I was able to get up and go to the bathroom, grab a bite to eat, back to sleep. When I got up again, it was dark. Grabbed a bite to eat, back to sleep. And that's pretty much how Wednesday went. Thursday, I still have the residuals of the medication from Monday. We had an appointment, in-house appointment, Thursday. We were able to shut that down before it even really got to be anything. It was another inspection. It was like the third inspection in 2 months. So it was no need for it. So we were able to shut that down. Still sleeping. And then I decided, you know what, I'm going to take my medicine late. That way I'll sleep at night and we'll just call it nighttime medicine. We'll just switch it around. So, got up Friday, went to the doctor Friday. As soon as I walked back in the house, I think my bed was calling me. Oh, Thursday I did do my live, but it was after my live that I went to bed. And then yesterday, I was supposed to have my auction, but guys, I couldn't focus. I was dropping stuff. I was forgetting words in the middle of the sentence. I was saying words wrong. It was almost like being a stroke victim, but I wasn't having a stroke. There was no pain, no blurred vision, no nausea. I could feel everything. I could point out what it was. I could write everything. It was just weird trying to say, like the word weird. It sounded weird to me yesterday. I could say it, but it sounded weird. And then whenever a word would sound weird, it's like all the muscles in my body would just, and I was dropping stuff. I was trying to make my cup of coffee and I spilled it everywhere. It was just one of those days. I was like, you know what? Maybe I need a mental break. So as soon as everything, y'all, there we go. As soon as everything started happening, I was like, I don't need to do a live today. I don't even need to put myself under the gun like that trying to do an auction. I need to just take a mental break, and so that's what I chose to do. Well, last night I went to the store. I know I'm not supposed to be buying more yarn. I get it. I get it. I got it. But I had been watching this yarn, and I had been waiting for this moment. This yarn started out at $7.58 a skein. I'll show you this first. This is the mainstay. 100% acrylic. 397 yards. I'm trying to do this off memory. Yep. It is 4-ply. It says to use 5.5 millimeter. I will be using an 8.0 millimeter for what I want to make with this. It's going to be very flimsy. So that's the mainstay yarn. If you don't know about mainstay, mainstay feels very close to Big Twist. It's thinner than the Karen 1 pound. It's not like plushy soft, but it feels good. I could definitely wear a shawl or a sweater. I could do that with mainstay. Well, the color I showed you was actually the accent color. I bought 3 of those whites, and then I have been looking at this. I've not really used too much Red Heart in a while. I would have to say in about a year since I started my channel. Speaking of which, before we go any further, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. For anyone who acts the role of a mother, for anyone who has had the pleasure of carrying a child regardless of how long, anyone who does the cooking, cleaning, dressing, grooming, checking behavior, checking homework, missing sleep because they sound funny, there to dry their tears when you feel like crying and screaming at the world. Whatever role you played in the mommy role, today has been your day to celebrate. Every day is your day to celebrate, honey. Being a mother is not easy. I'm 61 years old. My oldest is 43, just turned 43. My baby girl is 35. and I'm still mothering. And the emotions that come along with being a mother outweigh the physicalities by 1,000. So kudos to all the mothers out there. The other thing is, 2 weeks ago I celebrated my podversary. It was when I joined YouTube. That was 1 year, 2 weeks ago. Today marks 1 year that I dropped my first video. So I guess today is my first videoversary. Yay! So let's get back to last night. I got the Red Heart Flour All-in-One Power. I had been keeping my eye on it. It was $7.59 a skein. Unless it's gold and will halfway crochet itself, well, even then, because it'd be taking away my pleasure, I wouldn't buy it. I'm just saying. Yes, I'm a value yarn type of person. Yes, I enjoy crocheting. I've not experienced any of the real bougie yarn. I haven't. Maybe someday before the end of time I will. But if not, I'm happy with the experiences that I've had. With that being said, I've watched this yarn and watched it and watched it. I assume it's time for something else to fill its spot, because a few days ago the price dropped from $7.58 to an even $7. I'm like, that's a kind of big rollback. Usually they roll back about up to like 30 cents. They took the whole 58 cents off. You know, and usually Walmart's prices end in 6, 7, or 8. This was double zeros. That's almost a clearance price for them. So I watched it and I was like, if they dropped it down to $7, it's gonna go down again, unless they got a thing with Red Heart that they can't get any lower. I just don't understand. You can get a regular skein for blah 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 and whatever. When I went back again, it was $5. Now this is 100% acrylic. It is 4-ply. It calls for I am really trying to see here, a 5.5, which is an I. And it has 417 luscious yards. And it says you should be able to get 12 squares out of this. If you know me, you know that I abhor granny squares. So this will not be granny squares. I guarantee you that. It's not going to be granny squares. When I went back, it was $5. No, when I went back, it was $6. And I was like, okay, it's trending down. Let me give it a couple more days. And I go back and it's $5. And then this was like a couple of days before the money hits the bank. So I'm like, oh, just hold on till the check comes. And then when the check came, I go back over yesterday. It said $4. And it was misleading because the big sign up top said $5, but on the shelf it said $4. So I made sure to compare the barcode, you know, make sure I was looking at what I was looking at. And I go up to the register and I swipe the mainstay white, and I swipe this one with the long tail next, and it gave an error code. And I'm like, so an associate comes over, turns the key, and says, now swipe it again. I'm like, look, stay close. Because if it's more than $5, we're just going to take this off, and you can take all of these. Swiped it again, y'all. It said $2. And I did that wrong. I'm sorry. $2. It said $2. I could not believe it. I was in heaven. Oh my goodness. To be able to get 4 skeins for $8. Y'all, you don't understand. If I had paid $5 for these 4 skeins, that would have been $20, right? So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 16, say $18 I spent on this yarn. Less than I would have, than I was willing to spend for these 4. I got 7 skeins of yarn. Less than $20, guys. Less than $20. Am I happy? Tickle pink. Tickle pink. So you know that I was working on the simple block stitch blanket for a special someone. Well, I can tell you who that someone is. That someone was my son. And in talking to him and showing him and letting him know he had the blanket coming, he was like, Mom, you made me a blanket like that. Remember the River of Jewels? And it was black. It was like turquoise based. And then I used the variegated, like the bubble gum. I used like this color. So it looked like little pebbles of color, little crystals, or little jewels, you know, that were in like water, you know. So it was so pretty. It was really pretty. And he reminded me that I made that for him. And I thank him for reminding me. But I've always thought that to be not necessarily a masculine stitch, but a stitch that a man would enjoy, or a man would, you know, wouldn't mind showcasing, or you know what I mean. I'm talking too much. So the colors that I used for that, of course, were the Just Yarn in the black, 100% acrylic, a number 4 weight, and it is 109 yards. Of course, this is Dollar Tree. I had 8 skeins of this. I am down to 6 skeins of this. I got this beauty from Temu, which you know may or may not come with specs. And I have gone back trying to look it up. God knows, y'all, I have gone back trying to look this up, and I cannot find it anywhere. I cannot find it anywhere. I've even gone through my order, and what happened was I was offered a free item, and with the free item, the hot pink, gray, black, and white is what I chose. And when I went back in to, because it offered me a second free item, I was trying to get that again, which also came with 5 skeins, and it wouldn't let me do the same thing twice. So then I saw this one. I was like, oh, that's exactly the color I'm looking for. So I got this. You know, like if it's 5 skeins, it should be enough, which it looks like it's going to be enough. So out of the 5 and 8, and talking to my son reminded me, like I said, that I had done something similar to that before. And he says, Mom, I like the, y'all get ready for this, because I almost passed out when he said it. He said, I like the little squares. I think I cried a little bit. I literally, y'all, I literally think I cried a little bit. I really, really do. So I made squares. So that's 9 of them. and I made 4 of the bigger ones, which the bigger ones are going to be north, south, east, and west. I'm connecting as I go, and my northwest, northeast, southeast, southwest are going to be basically solids in the middle, and I think it's going to be this color solids all the way around, being that I have 3 skeins left. It doesn't look like it's going to be very large, which this is what we have, but my son balls up like a baby, and these are not the right colors for Jenna, his significant other. So it's definitely something he would be using by himself. Jenna's blanket is coming next. Yes, I'm preparing myself for when they get here. And yes, they are coming. So that is a whip. And you saw the sprat whip. Now, when I made the other blanket with the hot pink, I'll post pictures of that one because I don't feel like pulling the blanket out. I'd have to unpack it at this point. It's already packed up. After I made that, I started on this tank top. That tank top, out of the 9 that are in here, appealed to me simply because of the back. That back is absolutely amazing. It's so me. So in working with it, I've gotten this deep in. Yes, it does miter in. It's like, oh my God, does it stop? It's got to go around this body, y'all. Okay? And I made it a little bigger. It does give you several sizes. It goes from extra small to extra large. I just needed a couple more extras in there. Pre-surgery and post-surgery. I like my space. I like my room. And if it's going to open up in the back like that, then I need to make sure it only opens for air and not for show. So I am working on that as well. I'm pretty sure this is Lion Brand's Baby Soft. I'm pretty sure, because I was on a Lion Brand's Baby Soft kick for a little while, and I do remember making a dress, 2 dresses out of that. Also, this green is Tamu. You'll see 2 more of those in there. I think that I had 3 balls of that. I had 6 balls of this. Oh yeah, I made a pocketbook out of this. So that took 3 of the balls. And I got the 2 balls and the pizza balls left. I'm striping this as I go. And then here is the Big Twist Value Pound Plus watermelon. I am using hook size. I don't remember if it's G or F. I have to look at it. I know it's only in 4.0. I think that's the F, if I'm not mistaken. I think G is 4.5. Yeah, so that's the F hook that I'm using. For the gray, pink, for the maroon, gray, and white, I'm using The same thing that I'm using for the spread blanket, which is the 6.5, which is a K. And I went back to Walmart today because I ran out of peanuts. If you know anything about me, and the peanuts, pork rinds, or what they call them, cracklings. I prefer the soft pork rinds, and beef jerkies are my favorite snacks. It's just like, I'll take a couple of peanuts. When I say a couple, y'all, I mean when you break the little pear apart, I will take 2 of those and pop them in my mouth and spend about 20 minutes chewing on those. So it's not like they all get, y'all see the colors. You see the colors. You see them already. The only color that's not here is my favorite color. Yes, but I have a blanket in mind for this, and even though it's not complete of the rainbow colors, I had a rainbow concept in mind. And what I was thinking was more along the lines of spring into summer, you know, and I didn't want to go full red, so I went with the hot pink. I went with the yellow, I went with the orange, I went with the green, and I went with the blue. So you have the sky, you have the grass, you have the sunset, you have the hot rides, hot rods, hot bathing suits, and you have the, well, I said sunset, you have the sunrise. And the other color will be, or the base color will be white. Does that sound like luck of the draw to you? Maybe. Maybe. I know you're wondering what happened to the other luck of the draw. They're over there. They are over there. So, and no, they're not finished yet. Are they going to be finished? Definitely. You know how we do whips. Something gets in our mind and that's where, I know why they call it squirreling now. Yes. Especially after nuts is one of my favorite snacks. Well, I didn't call, wow. I didn't want to hold up your whole day. I still have to edit this and get all the little fixings to go to it. I don't know. I might put it out raw today. I don't know. But I would like to thank all 373 of my subscribers. The number keeps growing and I keep smiling more and more. There is something I want to tell you guys. If you watched my previous videos, and hopefully this one will be watched by the person I'm talking about. I know you all have heard me talk about the job, my dream job, the last job I worked, which was a front desk clerk, and me talk about my good manager, the one that I absolutely fell in love with. I'll just tell you her first name. And I'll tell you what we called her J-Lo. She was so much fun. She was positive, upbeat, perky, happy, exciting, down to earth, you know, and she was amazing. She was absolutely amazing. Not to say that we never had any tiffs. We grew to be like sisters. Yeah, we had tiffs. We did. But when you can separate for the day and come back the next day and give each other hugs and pick up where you left off, then you know that you're good, you know. And she was very encouraging. She was very patient, and I appreciate her in so many ways. I saw her today. She was in Walmart when I went over there, and my heart is still dancing from seeing her. So Jen, if you're watching this, love you, babes. Guys, it almost took me back to moments that we used to have at the hotel. It did. I remember times that she and I were in the laundry room, folding, uh, folding clothes. You know, the sheets, the towels, the washcloths, the pillowcases, everything. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, and the few um, guests that used to come through that wanted like immediate laundry service and take those clothes and throw them back in the washing machine. Okay, toss them in the dryer, take them out, fold them. You know, yes, and you know, it was little extra things that we taught each other and that we did, you know, together. And um, like I said, the encouragement. I had started a magazine for the hotel, and it was for the employees, but it was there if the guests wanted to see it as well, and just to let them know the behind the scenes. We had an employee of the month, and um, a spotlight person, and I would take pictures and post them in the little magazine, and take pictures of our little decorations, and you know, just let them know the family love that we had. It was promoting that, the family love that we had for each other, and the fact that I had a manager who was on board with that. And you know, I felt like if the owners came in and decided they didn't want it, my manager would fight for me. You know what I'm saying? And she always presented it in such a way, or presented things in such a way that she stood up for us. She did. She stood up for us. And it's delightful to work for people like that. You know, and I can't say work for, I'd have to say work with, because she was never the type to just stay in the office and seclude herself from the rest of us. Wherever Jen was needed, she was there. Bistro, maintenance, you know, meeting room, changing furniture around, you know, chasing the geese away. Even though I had fun doing that, they would let me go outside and chase the geese away. I named them all. I did. We had Floyd and Florence and Gladys and George, and yeah, I named all the geese that used to flood our property. And I wouldn't chase them away so much until they started getting belligerent. But other than that, it's kind of ushered them away, because I knew the geese didn't want to step all in goose poop trying to get in the hotel. You know, you come to relax, not smell goose poop all night. So, but it did my heart good to see her. And I think along with that, I want to tell any of those who are watching this video, if you're still working, value the relationship that you have with your employees, because if anything, I was taken out of work suddenly. My doctor called me one morning and told me, you're not going back, you know, and it jarred me when I had to make that phone call and let my manager know that I couldn't come back. I don't even know if she knows. She knows now that I was crying like a baby, because the first thing I thought about was the fact that I was going to miss Jen and Sonia. Those two. One was the front desk person that came on after me, and the other was the manager. And I was really going to miss the two of them. And then there was the bistro manager, who I called my brother, Damien. I wasn't going to see him anymore. And you know, it almost ripped my heart out, the fact that I was not going to be able to see these people that I was with 5 days a week, and sometimes more. You know, we had inclement weather or whatever, we would stay together at the hotel. Y'all, we had a swimming pool in the hotel. Whenever I found out that we were having inclement weather, if I left home and I saw a little bit of snow falling, I had my bag in the back, because I already knew that they were going to block rooms for the staff. We were going to get to stay in the hotel. I knew that I was going to pretty much be in my room until I went down to the swimming pool. We would go down to the bistro and have dinner together, you know, and just cut the food. And it was like one big family. It was like we had the cookout. It was so much fun. It was, and I miss it. I miss it. And to see her today brought a spark of that back into my life. So, like I said, those of you who are still in the workforce, if there's anybody that you enjoy in your workforce, treasure that relationship. Exchange numbers if you haven't. Text each other. Call each other. Keep in touch. Don't lose track of those types of friendships. Those people that make you feel like you've got a partner in crime. You know, those people who Jenny helped me realize that sometimes the little things you do are worth recognition. There were 2 guests in the hotel who were suffering from the onset of strokes, and I recognized it right away, and I called rescue for these people and got them the help that they needed, and it was recognized as me saving their lives. And all I knew is that these were people, these were regulars who came to the hotel, and they just wanted a place to rest. And if I could make that stay a little better, you know, I didn't see it then as saving their lives, but in hindsight, just thinking, if I had not recognized them, if I had not developed that relationship with these guests enough to know that they were acting strange and did not know what to do, then things could have been different. And it was so funny because after that happened, we had a meeting where medics came in, people who worked in the medical field came in to show everybody the signs of a stroke and, you know, different things that we could do for safety in the hotel. So, yeah. But guys and gals, like I said, treasure those relationships. I am going to, I'm going to tell you with this one, and I'll probably make a different video as well. Our video star of the week is no stranger to the YouTube world. He's remarkable. He is a designer. He knits. He crochets. He is a dynamic podcaster. His presence is great. He's humble. He sings happy birthday. He's an accomplished violinist. He's a pharmacist. Wow, what else can I say? He's 6'5". And whether he knows it or not, I've already adopted him as brother. I have. He's ever present. He has a heart of gold. If he can help you, he will. If he can help you, he will. He's very generous, and like I said, he's very loving, and I appreciated him from day one. I forgot the question that I asked him, but I reached out to him by way of email, and he answered me. I think Ahmad answered me first, but then he answered me, and I was like, wow, you know, because I knew this person was ginormous, and to get a personal response was like, wow. But I noticed that when I'm able to peek in his rooms, especially his members only rooms, yes, I am a member, he tries to keep up with the chat enough to say hello to everybody, but when he says your name, he's like, I am so happy to see you here. You know, it's just like, wow. You know, he to me is like Marty. It's like celebrity status. So yes, I am speaking of JYTA. Hello, hello, hello. Him and all the things. Yes. Let me tell you something about Juan, the yarn addict. If there's any part of me that's jealous, it's not a big part. But it's this little bitty thing, like when I grow up, I want my yarn wall to look just like his. There is a talent that he possesses that just astonishes me. He can look at a yarn and tell you what kind it is, you know, and to have that gift, to have that ability is just like, to me, I can't say I want to get to that point, but I would like to get to that point with value yarn. I absolutely love working with value yarn, and probably it's because it's the only yarn I've ever worked with. But I don't know. I think it's almost a fear. I'm sorry. I think it's almost a fear to work with the bougie yarns. I don't know. I don't know. But whatever. He is a delight. He's a treat. He's a joy. I want you all to, if you haven't already, for this week, just flood his channel with views. Pick a playlist. He does tutorials. He does crochet alongs. He shows you his whips. He gives his whips names and completion dates, and has a notebook where he keeps all of this stuff. One, I tried it. God knows, my little squirrely brain. And I keep notes. Michelle and I are so much alike in the notes. We have notes for the notes that have notes to the notable for the notary, and we determine whether or not it needs to be notated that they need to be noticeable. We just do the note things. We do. I know that it's the OCD in me. It is. I'm calling it what it is. I'm telling you straight out, it's the OCD in me. I was raised on to-do list, and every morning, y'all, if I could show you, I would. If it didn't look like Scribble Scrabble for the past few days, I would. I make a to-do list every night, and I make it so extensive that it's no humanly way possible I can complete that list. But if I get 50% of that list done, then I've accomplished something. And it's a way to push myself to do as much as I possibly can. So, I know it doesn't make sense to a lot of people, and it's okay. As long as it makes sense to me, it's fine. Right? Right. Okay, so back to the amazing Juan. Juan has this humble presence about him that scares me a little. And the reason it scares me is because I feel like big sister to him. And sometimes I don't know, I heard something once that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and I had to excuse myself because I was about to turn up, y'all. And I'm like, this man doesn't know me from a hill of baked beans, you know. And I was getting ready to get real protective. So that's what I mean by it scares me, because he's one of those people. I don't like to see people take advantage of people. I don't like to see people go out and purposely try to hurt people. And he's one of those people that I feel with his demeanor, people would try to do that. And then after I saw what I saw that evening, like I said, it ruffled some feathers. It did. But I had to put my mama feathers down. I did, and I just had to back away and go somewhere and breathe. Go get a drink of orange juice and breathe. But yes, Guys, I'm really not going to take up more of your time. My video star for this week is the amazing Juan, the Yarn Addict. Okay? Like I said, I want you guys to flood his channel this week and do all the things for all the things with all the things to make all the things amazing for JTYA. Okay? And if you decide to send him anything, please make sure, if it's of that rashy color, that it's hot pink. Okay, that's the only acceptable pink. Everything else in purple. He even knows the color of his purple. I thought, I love purple. I love purple. I love purple. The lightest purple there. I can see the lightest hue of purple and can tell you that it's purple, all the way down to the darkest hue that's almost black, and tell you that it's purple, and will wear it like it's purple, grape, wine, all of that good stuff. I can, but I don't know the names of all of them. I know lilac, I know purple tint, I know lavender, I know purple and grape, and I know all of those, but he has a color for his, and I'm so proud of him. I just love purple, period. Just give me purple. The background to my little scrolling screen on my Roku TV is purple hues. So yeah. Yeah. Do I like pink? It's okay. Not a huge fan. I think I grew out of my pink girly phase. I used to love my color used to be hot pink when I was a little girl, and then I went to a softer pink because my mama painted my room hot pink. So I think that's what did it for me. So then, being the rugged little girl that I was, I never did go all the way blue. I just started adding blue to the pink. It just became a purple lady. And so don't forget, Juan the Yarn Addict. Please don't forget or minimize the fact that I thank each and every one of my subscribers. Please share my videos. Please, 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 please. Share my videos. Get more people on board. I'm going to get to work on this sprat blanket. Knock out these other 4 rows. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can do 9, because I need to go ahead and get it done. I'm not going to put end dates on anything right now. I'm not going to promise that I'm not going to start anything, because as sure as the hooks are shiny, that's liable to happen. But I am going to dedicate one thing to a day this week. Today is the sprat blanket. Tomorrow it'll be my top. Tuesday it will be my son's blanket. Wednesday, why do I feel like there should be more around me? Wednesday it'll be my daughter's blanket, the black and variegated. And then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday will be the old Boggy Creek. I'll work on one of the Boggy Creek items and possibly finish a couple of them. But whatever I finish for this week, I will gladly show you all next Sunday. You will be seeing me before then. Please don't forget that I'm here on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12. They just had an accident. I need to close my blinds. I'm gonna sit this way. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Don't quite know where I left off. Everything out there is okay. But at any rate, like I said, I do want to thank all of my subscribers. I ask that you do share my videos. I am trying to grow my channel. I ask that you do hit that like button. Please, it goes a long way. Everything that I'm asking of you is free. It's free. And if you subscribed and didn't hit that notification bell, please do so. And encourage those that you share my channel with to do the same, so that you'll know when I am present on these YouTube streets. and so that it does make its mark in the algorithm. If you would like to see something that I'm capable of doing, drop suggestions down in the comment box. I do read my comments, and I do reply to my comments. I do. With all of that being said, as of right now, we do have an auction coming up. Not this coming Saturday, but the following Saturday. It'll be from 2 to 3. And the rules of the auction: you have to be 18. You have to have a United States mailing address. And once the bidding has been opened, you have 5 minutes to bid. I will type the word stop. Any bids that come in after the word stop are not eligible. Payments are accepted through Cash App and PayPal. That information is listed in the description box below. If you would like to promote my channel, do anything to help my channel out, as we do need updated equipment, that can also be through PayPal or Cash App. You can also buy me a coffee. I do thank each and every one of you who are here. That means a lot. Just watching videos. Hopefully the next ones won't be quite as long as this one. I try to keep my lives at an hour, and I've been working on trying to keep my videos well under. Generally anywhere between 6 to 20 minutes. I also do ASL teachings. The early part of the year, we went through the alphabets with a few words for each alphabet. We are currently doing numbers. We have counted from 1 to 20, and I am getting 21 through 30 out very soon. Then we're going to count by 10s to 100, and then by 11s to 99. And then we're going to go into our colors. And then we're going to start learning phrases. We're going to get to the point that I can come on and say, and you'll know what I mean. Hello, welcome. Come in all, and let's sign. Okay? So, with all of that being said, I want you guys to go out and have a wonderful, spectacular rest of your day. Those of you all who have gone out to dinner or have special dinners cooked for you, enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. And don't forget, as you travel through your days and through this life's journey, be bold, be brave, be beautiful, and behave. Remember that Kitty's watching, and that I love you. And until we see each other again on these YouTube streets, peace out, everybody.